Hello everybody, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome along. Part 15 now of this Pocher Pagani Utopia build. And here I've decided we're going to carry on with the manual. We fitted the rear end, if you remember, in the last edition. And now we're coming along to fitting these greeblies in here, and then we're going on to the headlights, and then we're going on to the wheels and the front end. The build sequence of this model and this instructions is absolutely crazy. You're sort of darting around between one thing and another. It's just absolutely mental. So yeah, I come along here and I'm begrudgingly working on this. I really do not want to work on this model, guys. I'm only finishing it because Pocher gave me the model, so I feel like I should. So I've come along here and I'm looking in here. We've got LT1, U6, U38, U42. And then we've got U6 here, which looks like a completely different part than it does over there. And then U38 here, which is a different shape part than that one there. So I don't know who wrote this, but this is absolute garbage. So I thought, well, I'll go and have a look. Somebody in part 14 told me that in this crazy, stupid, bloody sequence here, where they're telling you to put the back on first and then add these, they've actually changed that around now. So I've gone online. There is a link in the description below. If you go to that link, that takes you to the Pocher website. And then the manual is downloadable in 3 sections, and section 2 covers this area. Okay, so you can go on there and have a look and check all the part numbers before you start, because I picked up this and I thought, well, I haven't got a 42. There's U42, I haven't got one of them. U43, that's that there. I don't think that's right. Sorry, U42, I haven't got one of those. U43 is this part here, which they are calling U6, which is actually not there. And then you've got U38, which is here, but that's actually U7. So it's all over the bloody place. So that was why I started looking. Anyway, so we're not going to be using... Yeah, we've got U39s here. So I'm going to look at these numbers that I've written rather than the Pocher numbers. So we've got U39 on each side. So we've got 2 of those. So we'll get those off. Okay. We'll put those over there, and then we've got U7 for 2. So U7 is the door latch part. So we've got 2 of those. I hope they've designed this so that sprue gate is on the inner side, not the outer side. And then we've got U7, and then we've got U43, which is up here, and these are these latch type things. I think these are going to go in base downwards. Okay, so that's those there. Right, so that's that all taken care of. I've got some loose parts in the bag on this U-sprue, so I've got to be a bit careful. In fact, what I'm going to do is grab a bit of tape and tape these in. Stick a bit of tape on these. Be very careful with this, guys. In my kit, I don't know if yours is the same. Maybe mine got threw about a lot in transit, but my kit, there's a lot of parts, little tiny parts off the sprue. Okay, so that's that taken care of. And then we've also got these parts here, LT1. Where's my tweezers? There they are. So we've got LT1, so we can take that out of there and put that in the bin. And LT1 are these little door lock latches here. So we're going to have to get super glue out and glue all this together. And we'll get our cutters out the way. So these bits here are going to need a bit of a clean up, I think. So we'll give these a little bit of a clean up. Oh dear. So we'll give this a bit of a clean up. I was close to actually doing an announcement to say, look guys, I'm going to give this thing away. Anybody who wants it, they can have it and they can finish it. But I just don't think that's fair. But there's so much other stuff I want to be working on. That bolt and pull Defiant from Airscale, I want to get back into that. I want to finish off my Stolly. I really want to build that UMA Harrier. I've ordered some extras for that. So yeah, at the moment I've got to get this thing done. I'm working on another couple of projects as well off camera, and one of them is just a complete nightmare. It'll probably go in the bin. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get those parts down there. We'll get ourselves a drop of super glue sorted. This is the VMS for PE, and I've got a feeling the nozzle's going to be blocked. No, it's not. Okay, so we'll put a drop of that there. Put that over there out the way so we don't put our model in it. We've got a little glue looper there. I'm going to clean that off. Grab a cigarette lighter. That's how you clean super glue off your tools, and then just give it a wipe in a dirty paint cloth. Right, I'm going to go get the model, which is in the other room behind me, and then we'll get that on the bench and we'll get these little greeblies glued on. Okay, so we've got the car over here. And as I just mentioned, this build sequence is ridiculous. Look, we've put the rear on, and now we've got to fit these parts underneath where the rear goes. Why don't we do this before this? I should have spotted it, I guess, but dear, dear, dear. Right, so, and there is no indication to which way these go in, but it would appear, if you look very closely here, it looks like they've got that little edge sticking out. You can see these things have a sort of, they have an edge that sticks out on one side. You can see they're not symmetrical. So we've got the sprue gate facing out. So I'm going to grab my silver Sharpie, wherever it may be. Where has it gone? Who's pinched it? There it is. Nobody's pinched it. I thought Dottie might have had it for a minute. So we'll get the silver Sharpie and we will go in there like that. And then we'll go in there like that. So what I've done, those LT1, those little latches, the door catches, I've pushed them through. And now when we put some glue on the back of here and we fit it in place, we can put a bit of glue on them as well. And then we can grab this by the latch and place it in position and push it in. I've already test fitted this. I had to open up the hole. The hole in the die cast body was flashed over, so you need a nice sharp knife. Just push that latch in hard so that it's flush at the back, and then make sure it's perpendicular. That's rocking around like a good one. Why is that? That's come out. I didn't want that to happen. Why is this rocking around like a good one? Because it's got big lumps on the back of it. Should have checked that before I glued it in, shouldn't I? I test fitted it, I didn't notice it then. It's got ejector pin marks on it. The bane of my life. Right. So that can go back in now. It should sit down, that's better, it's not rocking around now. And then we'll chuck this one in. So that's going to go into those holes, which is awkward. There we go, that's gone in. Right. Okay, that's probably the best detailed part on the whole model so far. A little door latch, it looks lovely. Okay, and then we'll turn it around. No, we'll do this other stuff first. So we're going to open up the back end. So to open up the back end, you kind of lift it and you pull it back. Oh no, you push it forward, sorry. You push it forward or pull it back, I can't remember now. You've got to be so careful what you're pushing because you've got all these bloody super glue parts everywhere. Do you push it forward or pull it back? I can't remember. Careful not to push the lights because you'll break them off because they're just super glued on. There we go, you push it forward and up and it will stay up. So we've got this little latch thing here which is obvious which way it goes, and once again they've got the sprue gate at the top. Oh, who designs this stuff? Put the bloody sprue gate at the bottom. If you're going to pre-paint parts, make them so the modeler doesn't need to keep touching them up all the time. May as well have them all black and we'll paint them ourselves. I haven't test fitted that. Yep, fits in there lovely. So I'm just going to put a drop of glue on the back, like that. And then plonk that into there like so. we go. And then this piece here, they're showing that coming up from underneath. That's pretty bloody awkward, isn't it? Why didn't we put that on before we fitted anything on the body at all? Just going to colour in this this sprue gate on this one, ready for the other side. We're going to have to turn the car over to put those parts in. So I have to get my soft cloth out. Right, so what we'll do is we'll come round the other side, as heavy as it is. Move these out of the way, and then we'll see if this fits. As I say, on the other side I had to clean some flash out of the hole to make it fit. Does it fit or doesn't it? I don't think it does, to be honest. No, we're going to have to clean some flash out of that hole, so just come in with the knife, scrape away. It's just a little bit of die cast flash on the edge, which is only to be expected. Turn it around the right way. Yeah, that goes in now, and I'm going to check for these ejector pin marks on the back. Sure enough, we have them and they're raised, so we'll make sure we get rid of them. There we go. Right, so we can get this prepared and ready. So we can hold it in our tweezers like this, and then we'll put some glue on those pins, and we'll make sure we get some on that tab. Hold it in place, and then we can slide this over and push it in. Make sure it sits down nice and flat. There we go, that's gone in lovely. They're very nice, those little door latches. Okay, and then we've got this other little piece here, whatever it may be. That's going to slot into there. Yeah, that fits in lovely. So we'll put a drop of glue on the back of here. And that's going to pop into there. I hope when Pocher develop their next model, they give the manual to someone and say, have a look through this, see what you think, but then bloody listen and act on the opinion of a modeller. Because this build sequence on here is crazy. What we should have done was put these in. First thing we ever did on the body, when we fitted the windows, fit these. Why didn't they do it then? Absolutely crazy. So I've got to now turn this whole bloody thing over. So I've got to shut this back end down, which is easier said than done. Okay, so that goes down like that. Okay, just like that. Alright, and now we've got to turn the whole thing over, so I need my microfiber towel on the bench. And we're going to put the model over onto its roof. Oh, there's another window popped. Those windows are glued in with PVA into the roof, but they're also held in by the interior roof panel, so that's good. So this is basically going to go, you can see on this piece it has a flat on one side. We're going to go into that hole there I'm pointing to, so this is going to be picked up and dropped into that hole like so, and then we will put a drop of super glue on it. There we go. Right. And then that's going into there like so. That one's gone in there. Okay, so I'll leave that to dry for a minute. And I'll turn it over and then have them fall out, do I? Okay. Right, so moving along here, I've got all the parts out ready for the lights. Unfortunately on this lens we've got some issues. I don't know if you can see that there. If I put something black behind it you'll probably be able to see a lot better. But check yours, you might want to get a spare if you've got the same. They look like scratches. I think they're actually stress marks from the moulding, so I can't be bothered to get a new part. I've had enough new parts for this, so I'm just going to put it on as it is. So we're going to put these lights together. So as per the instructions, we got 4 of these T33s, 4 of these Q3s, and 4 of these B23s. So this is the land of the 3s. And these are a very easy fit, very loose fit. So what I'm going to do to put these in, I'm going to use this Revell Contactor Clear, which is like a PVA type glue. And what I'm going to do is place some glue around the edge of here. Okay, just 4 drops of that. I'm not worried about getting on the outside, it's the inside I don't want to get it on. And then I'm going to plock that onto there, like so. And then if we put some of this glue on the back, okay, don't worry about getting on your fingers and stuff, it's only white glue. And we can drop that into there, like so. Okay, and then using a cotton bud we will come along and mop up the excess glue. In fact, what you could do with this stuff if you wanted to, I think, is just come around and put a few drops on like that. Because it is quite thin, it will wick into the gap by capillary action. And then we should be able to wipe away the excess. There we go. So there's 1. So we've got another 3 to do. I'll do 1 more on camera. So what we'll do this one slightly differently. I'm not using super glue because we've got clear parts nearby, and super glue and clear parts do not go together well. What happens is the super glue will make the clear parts fog. So I'm going to put that in there, dry fit it, and then I'm going to come along with my Revell Contactor Clear or any PVA thin down with water, whatever. In fact, we can brush it all the way around, get it all over. There we go. Okay, and then just mop off the excess, just like so. So that's that light lens, and then it's stuck to my finger because I got glue on my finger and it's stickier than the wet glue that's supposed to be holding it in. So I'll wet the cotton bud. Just remove that glue that I got on there from my finger. Okay, so that's that one done. Got some more glue there to remove. So I'm going to wash my hands and then do the other 2. Alright, so we've got these done now and they're all nice and dry. Just checking my fingers for glue again. I have actually gone and washed my hands. So the other thing I did, I drilled a hole in one of them. Obviously one of the ones I've already fitted, because I found I had an airlock and it wouldn't actually stay down, so I drilled a hole up through the base just to let the air out. So there we go. Right, now I've noticed that these lights go into these pods and they're an awful fit. They're terrible. You can see how the front, there is sticking up way up above. And what I notice is there's like a lump. You can see there's a lump here. I can catch it in light, you see that. So what I'm doing is just coming in with a radius blade, making sure we don't damage the carbon fibre decal. I'm just scraping away that lump. And it does actually make, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be there or not, but it does actually make the front sit down a bit nicer. Okay, so there we go. So that's that lump. removed. Right, and then we can come along and put a drop of super glue. In fact, what we'll do is we'll put a drop of super glue on here. So we'll put some in the area between the holes and into the holes themselves, and then just drop the light in. Dottie's playing with a toy, that's what you can hear in the background. She's got something, she's got a chew or something, and she's got it on my chair leg. Okay, so that's gone on like that, and then that can go in like that. And then just look at them front on, make sure they're all square, make sure they're sitting down nicely, let the glue start to tack off, and then just leave them to sit for a minute. Just let the glue tack off so it becomes like a gel. Right, so there we go. You can see those in there, and then just as a little bit of extra assurance, I'm going to come in from behind with a drop of super glue. You see that's fallen out already. Why don't they put bloody proper locations on things in this confounded bloody model? Nothing has a positive fit. The Porsche 917 is much better than this. So if you're going to get if you want to get yourself a poker kit and you're not really too fussy about the subject, I would seriously suggest that 917. It's a lovely little model. It's got a few details missing, but it goes together very nicely, and it's a far more enjoyable build than this one. I hope this is the oddball. There we go. Right. So there we are, and I can just put that to one side. Now I've put this one down on the table, and obviously that's touching where I put the glue. So what I'm going to have to do with this one is I will grab a sanding stick or something. I'll sit it down so that the back is up against the sanding stick so the glue doesn't touch the board. Right, back in a bit when that glue's dry. Right, so coming over the page, the glue on these lights is pretty much dried now. So you can see now we're going to start to build up the front clamshell. So, or the bonnet or the hood, whatever you want to call it. And we've got two parts, Q13 and Q14, and they've got to glue in. So they are going to fit in. Is that one for this side? No, that one's for this side. So they are going to fit in there like that over those pins, and they form the forward part of the ducting. So there we go. We've got super glue in our palette, in our Pringles lid. So we'll put a drop. I'm going to get some more in there because I can't get enough on the on the glue looper. There you go. So we will hold that in position, just place a drop on each of the pins, and that will wick down in. Okay, same on this side. Drop that one in there, drop that one in there, and then drop of glue. Here goes Dottie again with her shoe. Okay, and then we've got to fit these light lenses. Now these light lenses, they actually fit, polish, they actually go in and you don't need to glue them, because what you do is you're going to put the light in on top of it afterwards. That's unfortunate. No, Dottie, no. She's no. She's chewing her chew, and the edge of her mouth is actually chewing my foot. Hang on a minute, maybe that was awkward. Right, so I'm going to have to put this up on something, so I'm going to get my little cardboard paint stand thing. So we'll put it on that. So we can put that lens in there. We can drop that lens in there like so. Okay, I'm not going to put any glue on these because if I use super glue they'll cloud up. I could put, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll put a little drop, let's give it a good shake. I'm going to put a little drop of this Revell contactor glue over each of the pinholes, and then that can wick down through. This is not the Revell contactor cement you get for plastic. This is actually the it's called Revell contactor clear. I didn't know I had it, so just see what it's like. It's just a thin white glue, I think, same as all of them. Okay, so that lens has gone down in there like that. Right, and then the light unit can drop in on top. So we've got a pin there that's going to go into that one, and we've got a pin at the back that's going to go into that one. Alright, so that's gone in there, and then the same on here, that's going to drop onto there, and then we can hold these in place, and we'll just put a drop of super glue on there, and hopefully, actually we've got the inner liner here. I'm wondering if this will actually hold them in when that's fitted. No is the answer. I was wondering if we could avoid putting super glue on them because of the clear parts. But what we'll do is we'll put a drop. We'll just put a small drop of super glue on each of the pins, and that'll be enough just to tack them in. Just like so. Okay, I think Dottie's going to bark. So that can sit there like that. I just want to see if I've got a weight long enough to go across the two. No, I don't. It's a shame. What I could do is put a zebra sanding stick on there, and then put a weight on there, and that will hold them in place. Okay, so that'll hold them down while that glue dries. So I'll be back in a minute. We're constantly waiting for glue to dry. But I cheated. I put a small drop of accelerator on there. Right, so now we can drop this inner liner in, and this is going to be held in with 6 E-screws. Notice I'm not tapping the threads because these have the square holes in them. So don't cut threads where you've got square holes because you will mess your model up. It's a bit weird that doesn't stay down there. Maybe it will when it's screwed. Just wondering what's going on outside. I think there's somebody riding up and down on a scooter or something. And they right outside my front gate there is an access hatch for Virgin Radio when they do all the Virgin when they do all the they put all the cable TV in. So they've been working in there a lot lately, and I think the hatch is getting a bit loose where they keep taking it up. That's the wrong screwdriver. Get this one. Right, so actually no, that's not the wrong screwdriver, that's the right one, because that needs to go down into a recess. So we've got one going into there. We've got one going into there. Notice I'm not tightening them up, I'm just putting them in a few turns. So that's 1, 2, 3, there's 6, so there's 3 aside. So they can go all the way in there. Right, that was all the way in. That one's all the way in. If that other screwdriver will fit in the hole. Yes, it will. That's a much better... This screwdriver's got a much better bite. Don't think that went down fully, did it? Nope. So I have to support the back of that with my hand, get that one in. Just like so. Same here. There we go. Just check these are in properly. I don't think this one's all the way down. Yes, it is. Right. There we go. So that's our front end done with the headlights in, with the scratches. So we'll create something inside there. Not to worry. Right. So there's our front end. We'll close our screw box up, and then we can go to the next page. We've got loads of gluing to do again. We've got to look at all this, all these tiny little bits of plastic to glue in. Right, back in a bit. So I'm back. I've done a bit of this. I've done all this work with these lights here, everything off camera, because I just wanted to put some music on and just calm my way through it. But no positive fit or anything, but it all sort of goes together somehow. But there you are. They're fitted in there like that. Okay, so be careful not to knock them because they're going to be very easy to break off. So yes. Right, so I'm going to turn this over now. We'll put it the same as they've got it in the instructions. And we've got to fit this piece here, T10. It's got green lines, so it needs to be glued. So there's another bag. So this is going to fit into there, like so. Now I wish I'd fitted this before I fit that black panel in, because we could then have got to the back of the pins. So what I'm going to do is put some glue in the holes, just like so. And it's not going to be under any stress or anything, I don't think, so that should be enough to hold it in there. So that's a carbon fibre piece there, which is going to go down. You just saw it drop in easily, but as soon as we put glue in, it starts to be troublesome. There we go. So that's gone in there with a little click. Alright, and then we've got these pieces on the side. Where's the other one? Here's the other one. Now these are T6 and T7. They look to be identical. Now this one here has a little lump in it, so we're going to make sure we cut that away. Alright, and they had the sprue gate on the side. This one's got a lump on it as well. Looks like it was a sprue gate. So unfortunately what they've done here is put the sprue gate in the side there. They could have put it on the same as they did in that back one and had it onto the mounting face. So what I'm going to do is make sure I fit these, because they're opposite, and make sure we fit them with the sprue gate on the inside. Okay, so again, should have fit these before we fitted the inner tub. We could take it off. I can't be bothered. Right, so some glue into that hole there, and I'm going to put some glue into that hole there, and then that one's going to go in there like that. I should have test fitted these first. I have to put the back in first. Okay, so that's gone in there like that, and then I'm going to put some more glue into here. And then I'm going to put some more glue into there, just like so. And then that can drop down in there like that. There we go. So that's them fitted. And now we're onto the wheels. I mean, so now you've got this, you've got to stow away. Why don't they just have us fit the front? And then we're going to fit the doors, which we've had hanging around for ages. Alright, so I think what I might do is jump past this lot here, and jump to this and fit these bits in here. So let me go and get those bits off the sprue. Alright, so I've got these parts off, so it's basically the fuel filler and this little window trim. I think we'll get this done and then we'll call it a day for this video because I've had enough. So this is basically, it looks like this has got to go into here. So this is the flap. Okay, it's not clear in the instructions how it goes together, but it's looking like that's going to go into there like that. And then this piece here, which is L21, is going to sit inside there and locate its two pins in two holes. And that will hold the flap in position, I'm thinking. No, it doesn't. It's nowhere near it. Okay, when we fit this into the body, that's going to actually, that's what's going to keep that hinge in place there. So I'm going to put a drop of super glue on the back of here. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to quickly go and grab the body and glue that into the body. Hang on. Alright, I've got the body here. So we'll quickly grab this assembly. I don't really care if the fuel flap works or not, to be quite honest with you. We'll put some more glue on there. That will kick the other stuff off. I've managed to get some glue on my finger and get it on that cap. What a pain in the ass. What an idiot. Where did that glue on my finger come from? I'll get that off after. Alright, and then this is going to go into here. Again, why didn't they have us put this in before we fit the bloody rear end? Oh, dear, dear, dear. I use a little cocktail stick to push this in. And that fuel flap door has popped out of its location. This has no positive location, it just sort of sits there like that. I don't even think the glue's contacting. It doesn't feel like the glue's contacting anything. There we are. We'll get that off with a bit of glue remover after. And then I'm going to put some more glue in here. And we are going to fit these little trim pieces that go in behind the doors. So that one is that one. So we just test fit it first. Yep. That fits in there. Just get a knife in behind it and remove it. So we'll put a drop of glue next to the pinhole. And next to the pinhole, and then into there and into there. It's always the bloody same, it goes together, test fit, and then when you put glue on it doesn't want to go. You just saw me, there you go, you just saw me fit it, it's bang, straight in, and then there's supposed to be a vinyl piece of tubing around here that goes around and forms the rubber for the door. I haven't fitted it. There's no clue on how it goes in or anything, and I can't see that it's going to stay in there and look very nice, to be honest, so I've decided to leave it out. So we're going to close this back end down. If it'll go back down. There we go. You've got to sort of push it back and down. There we go. Something, it sounds like something plastic is engaging or something, I don't know. And then pick it up, turn it around, it weighs a bloody ton, this thing. Oh dear. Right. And then I'm just going to test fit this one. That goes in there. For some reason in the kit you get two spare ones of these. Lord only knows why. Going to pop that into there. And again, it won't fit now that we've got glue on it. Oh, come on. There we go. There we are. That's gone in there. So that's that. Right, little bit of VMS glue remover. So get this turned around like so. And I'm just going to get a drop onto there. It says it's paint friendly. Put some on the cotton bud, that'd be better, wouldn't it? It's very good stuff, this VMS. Every VMS product is very good. The only one I can't get on with is the clear varnish, the clear gloss varnish. The clear matte and satin are bloody awesome. Let's get a cocktail stick and give it a little scrape. There we go, it's got it off. So there's the glue mark gone. Right, I'm going to call it a day there. The reason I skipped ahead, guys, is because I don't see the point in building up wheels and having wheels lying around, having a bonnet lying around. We would have doors lying around. The build sequence of this model, as I say, is just crazy, absolutely crazy. And as I say, I hope in future they will, for their future kits, they will give their instructions to someone to go through and make some suggestions, and then have somebody at Pocher who listens, because they did that with me. They didn't send them to me for approval or anything, but the suggestions I made weren't listened to. So there we go. They won't be sending any more instructions, I can tell you that. Right, I will see you soon for part, this is 15, isn't it? Part 16, and we'll get on with something else. We'll probably go on and build the doors up or something. Something where I don't have to keep lifting this thing on and off the bench. Right, and I've got a lot of people saying that I'm going to have issues with panel fit. At the moment, I have no issues with panel fit. This rear end, yep, there's a bit of a large gap around the back here. This area here, it's like, you know, it's like 1.5 millimeters, but you can actually push the back end down and it will actually close up. But apparently there's an issue along the side here where it fits along here, along there apparently. But no, it's looking quite good. Right, I will see you all soon for part 16. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.